Is there one lesson that you learned this year?
Yeah, I underestimated the value of relative strength. You know, and you guys, how long have you guys known me? I'm like Mr. Relative Strength, right? That's all I looked at. And coming into this year, I would have sworn up and down how important relative strength is and how it's like the second most important thing we look at and blah, blah, blah. And I would have told you all those things. And now in hindsight, I was still underestimating just how important relative strength is, because one of these zillion reasons why we were selling stocks at the end of January and buying bonds is because of the deterioration in market breadth, the relative weakness or the lack of relative strength, if you will, in things like transportation, in things like regional banks, in small caps. These were the laggards, right? These were the sectors and the stocks suggesting, right? Because remember, the Dow Industrials are making new highs and transports were not. So the bulls were like, well, transports are not yet, but they're going to catch up now, right? That was the bullish argument. My argument was, well, if transports are not going to play catch up, sure have a funny way of showing it because they're breaking down to new 10-year relative lows. So my bet was the opposite, that those industrials were going to catch down. Regional banks peaked in December of last year. So by the time the market peaked in mid-February, the relative weakness or the lack of relative strength was quite apparent. Then in the depths of the market crash, while the market was making new lows, you look at the relative strength leaders. What were they? Activision, Zoom, DocuSign, Regeneron. All of these names were showing Chinese internet of all things. Like the market's crashing and Chinese internet is breaking out to new relative highs. It's like, wait, and then look what these things have done since then, right? That relative strength was there as important. And I promise you guys, and you guys know me, as much as I thought relative strength was important coming into this year, I can tell you from the bottom of my heart, I still underestimated it.